Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. One of the most common questions that I get this time of year when it comes to keeping chickens is, should I heat the coop? And the short answer is an emphatic no. And the long answer is, there are exceptions, but even those exceptions generally prove the short answer, which is no. And I'll explain. If any part of this video is interesting, educational, entertaining, would you consider buying me a cup of coffee? The link is on my channel page. I actually made a separate video on the risks of heating your chicken coop, basically the ways that you can kill your chickens by heating your chicken coop. And you might be surprised to learn that a coop fire isn't the main reason. So I'll leave that discussion for that video. Instead, in this video, I'm going to talk about the specific basic concepts that apply. And it's kind of funny, when I do videos on this topic, there are two main comments that come up, and those are, I live in location XYZ, the farthest reaches of the north, and it gets a bazillion degrees below zero, and my chickens are fine. I don't need to heat the coop. The other comment is, I live in location XYZ, the farthest reaches of the north, that gets a bazillion degrees below zero, and if I don't heat my coop, my chickens get frostbite or they die. So which is it? Do you need to heat your coop or not? Well, the answer really depends on how your chicken coop has been designed and constructed. And I figured, since I'm in that phase in the construction of my new chicken coop, I thought, well, this is a good time to go over this idea. And that phase is specifically the ventilation and insulation phase. The basic idea to good ventilation design in the chicken coop is that it removes moisture. Now, if you don't remove that moisture, your chickens are going to be cold and miserable and possibly frostbitten. In addition, your chicken coop's going to be kind of soggy and dank and possibly moldy. Now, the moisture comes from 5 main places. Some you can control, some you can't. The first 2 are from your chicken's breath and from their poop. You can't do anything about those. But the last 3, well, I should say one more you can't control, and that is if it's really humid. But it's likely not a problem in cold climates because cold weather typically tends to be more dry. So I put that in there, but it kind of doesn't apply. But the last 2 ways that moisture can be introduced into a coop is that it's a leak or the elements are getting into the coop. You can do something about that. And the last one, you're keeping your chicken waterer inside the coop. There's definitely something you can do about that. So to recap, moisture is the enemy of keeping your chickens happy inside the chicken coop. And I think many of us have experienced that. Have you ever been outside on a really cold day, but it was dry and the sun was shining, and it kind of didn't feel that bad? And then you've been outside on a not that cold day, but it's gray and raining, and it feels miserable? Well, now you're starting to get an idea as to what we're talking about, because moisture changes the way cold feels. Now, on top of that, moisture will a lot of times collect on surfaces. And so that means a chicken's comb and its legs will tend to be frostbitten because that moisture will collect in those locations. It's often said that a chicken coop needs to be well ventilated, but not drafty. Huh? Doesn't that mean the same thing? Actually, no. And here's an easy way to understand it. A well-ventilated coop means that air is moving up above, well above, the tops of the chickens. A drafty coop means there is air blowing directly on the chickens, often at roost level. And so that's kind of an easy way to understand the idea. You want the air to be moving up and out, not across the chickens. Okay, now I had mentioned on the outset that there are some exceptions to whether or not you should heat your coop. So let's get into it. All right, I could think of like 4 reasons why you might want to heat your coop, but if I missed some, could you please let me know in the comments? Now, the first reason is that it's excessively moist inside your coop. You see the problem? If there's something about your coop design that you can't change and they're getting excess moisture on them during the winter, well, maybe you do need to heat the coop. It's super risky. Like I said, I have a whole video about that, but maybe you have to in that case, occasionally. Another reason is that because of the day and age in which we live, it's possible for a person to get just about any kind of chicken in any location in the world. This means that some people have chickens that weren't bred for a cold environment. Chickens that are better adapted for warm environments that just can't cut it in a cold environment. I'm looking at you, Leghorns. So, yes, I guess, it's possible that that person might need to heat the coop or occasionally heat the coop. Now, another situation would arise if you have chickens that are in some way compromised. Perhaps they're injured or sick, and they can't keep their body temperature up. That might be a situation in which you might need to do something, maybe bring them indoors for a little while or something along those lines. And lastly, this does not apply to chicks. Chicks are a whole different ballgame, and we're not talking about chicks in this video. All right, well, there you have it. The basic idea as to why you might not want to heat your chicken coop. And like I said, there's a separate video on all of the specific risks. Coffee is always welcome. The link is on my channel page. And your comments are especially welcome because by commenting, you tell the YouTube algorithm that this channel has value to you. So thank you. You make this channel possible. And it will also tend to lead to blah, 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 blah. Your coop will be dank and blah. The basic idea, whoa, I almost fell down, and possibly moldy. And there's gonna be another line, but my brain doesn't wanna tell me what it is. Some of them you can control, some of them you control. I mentioned that there's a separate, whoa, it's so icy. Whew, have it. The basic ideas of why you wouldn't, whoa. All right, well, I need to get back into working on the coop, so if you like this video, you might like these.